Hey guys, it's me, Mr. 250, and welcome back to 999. We're back here again in the laboratory where we will hopefully be able to free Clover today, and with Lotus's help and her amazing computer skills, we've gotten ourselves another step closer to it, and we got ourselves this activation key, which probably doesn't take a brain surgeon or a rocket scientist to think that it might be used here. This key. The shape sure makes it seem like it goes to this machine. Alright, I'm turning it on. Ooh, that seems to work. Okay, the monitor is on now. And it's full of letters. So click the monitor. Okay, it's showing some kind of warning. Power restored to experimental device. Emergency system will activate in the event of abnormal subject behavior. Like, is Science Boy going to be abnormal compared to regular experiment person? Okay. Let's check Science Boy and see if anything's changed with him. Science Boy is lying on the table. His poor head's full of electrodes. Poor Science Boy, just laying there. He wants to be so chill, so relaxed, but no, Science Boy has to get electrodes in his head and do science experiments. Oh, that's not what I meant to click. I'm slightly curious if we need to take the cable out of, or the connector back off of this computer down here. Okay, maybe not. Power restored. Typing on this keyboard isn't doing squat. So, is there anything we can do? Now, they were talking about experimental device. I wonder if that's this computer here. Junpei! This thing in here is now on. Or it's on now. Yeah, that's because we activated the power over on this side. Could you, like, play with it a little? Okay. Yeah. I'll turn this dial here. Turn, turn, turn. I don't think it's working. Nothing happened. Well, maybe she missed something. I should ask her to look around the room again. What about this computer? This is the monitor. There are a whole lot of cables under this table. What about Science Boy? Nope, nope, Science Boy's so chill. We shouldn't even look at him anymore. That's a wash basin, more commonly known as a sink. We've already got the scribbling. It's a rack full of cables that are, been cut. Where else to look? Computer's not useful. What about these switches? Do those do anything? No, no, that's nothing important from there. And I'm sure some of those could be useful, but we haven't found them to be very useful. Maybe if you increase the voltage? Roger. Will do. Okay, I'm gonna go all the way to max voltage. That sounds bad for some reason. Max voltage? Hey! Wait, Clover! Oh no, not Science Boy. What's gonna happen to Science Boy when he gets max voltage? Oh, what? I think, is he gonna catch on fire? Oh, wow. He actually did catch on fire. Oh my god! The mannequin's head! I have a feeling that that's similar to what would happen if you actually did that with a human instead of the mannequin stand-in. Oh man, that sounds like a fire alarm. What the heck? Fire detected, fire detected. The emergency system will be activated. Evacuate the room immediately. Uh-oh. Science Boy's head is on fire. Science Boy! No! Oh, the humanity of it all! What the heck is Science Boy? Are you talking about the mannequin? Yes. Forget about the mannequin. You need to help Clover, now! Okay. Will this open? Dang. The gate's still shut. What about the other one? Ooh, these are open. The control device for the electronic door lock. Maybe that's what we needed to do to open the door. Maybe we needed to cause a fire and trip the emergency thing. The green light is on. Junpei, look at the light. Yes, it's green. The emergency system is activated and disabled the lock. Now we can save Clover. Hey, Clover, you mind getting out of there? Junpei! Come on, kid, jump! She's safe. Oh man, that smoke is some serious business. Time to close this door again, I think. And, can we get out now? Clover, are you okay? Are you hurt? Dang, she's coughing so hard she can't even talk. Of course, I'm not alright. What the heck took you so long, you big jerk? I was almost dead. Sorry, I was going as fast as I could. You two can do this later. Right now, we need to get the heck out of here. That fire's not going to stay in that room forever. Well, there's a mannequin on fire on the other side of this window. The skin is already melting and dripping off. I can see some of its metal bones. What are you doing, Junpei? Let's just get out of here. But what about science, boy? Alright, let's head out of here. So I guess that was what we needed to do to solve the area, I'm assuming. I guess the only way out was to trigger an emergency, maybe? It seems like there would be an alternate solution other than that, but maybe that's just the puzzle. I don't know. Junpei, Clover, and Lotus leapt out of the laboratory, slamming the door shut behind them. All three collapsed against the wall, breathing heavily. Junpei's heart was pounding in his chest, and his whole body felt weak. He inhaled gulps of clear air, and with each one, he could feel his body begin to calm down. Alright, let's go. They nodded to each other, and started off down the hallway. Before long, they found a few new doors, but all of them were locked. Soon, they had tried all the doors but one. The final door sat in a corner of the hallway. Junpei grabbed the door handle and was about to pull it when a voice cried out behind him. It was neither Clover nor Lotus, but he recognized it. There was no doubt the voice belonged to Jumpy! He spun around. There, at the other end of the hall, Junpei saw human figures running towards him. 3 of them. June, Santa, and 7. They stopped short in front of Junpei and his companions, gasping for air. See, when they say the word cry, it makes me think that's more of like a ah, and then someone got like stabbed or something. Hey, what are you guys doing here? What? But we didn't... Before he could finish, Clover spoke. Guys, could you come over here? She was standing near the end of a small hallway that branched off to the right. The rest of them ran over to her, curious as to what she'd found. I'm sorry, quick cut right there. I think I might have been being a little too loud. I'm not sure. But I just kept seeing myself peeking on my, over here on my Audacity. So I moved the mic a little bit. There was something on the wall at the end of the hallway. A map? A map of the ship's interior. It said C deck in the upper left corner. Most likely, they assumed it was a map for the floor they were on. Door 7 and Door 8. The map confirmed what they already knew. Both doors eventually led to the hallway where they had found themselves. In fact... Yeah, isn't that what I said? Till we find that 9 door, 0 ain't gonna split us up. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we can't open door 9. That's how the nonary game works. Junpei looked at the map of the ship's interior again. So, let's see. Okay, so on the right is all the hospital beds, so that's a hospital room. We took the right door, because that was door 8. And I see the laboratory, that's the curved room we were in, and we head out this way. So they both look like they lead up to the same area again. As he looked more closely, his surprise and excitement gave way to weariness. One by one, the others saw what he'd seen. As one, they all moved back towards the door Junpei had only a moment ago been ready to open. Wait. Is the only... I'm taking a look at it now, because keep in mind, I know that door 3, which is the lowest one, ends up leading to the shower room, which ends up leading back to the hospital room. But we did find a key, didn't we? I can't remember what key it was to save my life right now, but we did find a key that was necessary in the first room, so maybe we can get somewhere else now. He pulled the map of the ship's interior off the wall, put it in his pocket, and followed the others. So we're going to go back out that unlabeled door. I was wondering, I was like, this place looks oddly familiar. The 6 of them stood in front of the door, arrayed in a semicircle. Santa stepped forward. He took hold of the door and spoke, without looking back at the other 5. Ready? I'm going to open it. They nodded their silent assent. With a deep breath, Santa threw open the door. And is Ace over here? Did anything bad happen to him? They poured through the doorway and into the room. Even without looking around, each one of them knew where they were. They were just where the map had said they would be. The same room they'd been in not so very long ago. So it looks like all of the doors loop back into this room, but they all seem to have something useful. The shower room had the card. In this room we had a key. I don't know what's in room 7, but they all seem to have something useful to use in the first stair room they were all in. The tremendous central hospital room with empty beds from wall to wall. So I wonder if maybe, if we wanted to actually, you know, not die, because I know there's 6 bad endings to this from what I've heard. Because there's 6 endings. Apparently I think they're all bad. I think, I'm not sure, but I'm wondering if maybe an actual way you'd want to go to win would be to get more than just one of these things. I don't know. I see. I believe I understand what you're saying. And that's Ace there for you. The 6 of you split into 2 teams and went through doors 7 and 8. You solved the puzzles in the operating room and the laboratory. So door 7 is the operating room. That must have been a little creepy. And then met one another in the hallway, after opening your respective locked doors. He looked like anyone might, after only just waking up, but it seemed that his brain was working as well as ever. He had managed to grasp, summarize, and understand each team's report. At any rate, I feel a bit silly for my little show of altruism. I'm sure you'll be back for me. I did hope you would come back, but I confess, I didn't think you'd be back so soon. Ace shook his head with a rueful smile. Well, we saw each other again, and we ain't dead, so I say that's good enough. 7 smiled. Anyway, I say we get out of this creepy old place. We found the key we need. The key? Ain't that what I just said? I'm talking about the Jupiter key. We found it in the operating room. Here. 7 tossed something small and metallic towards Junpei. He caught it and found that the object was a key. So we have the Jupiter key, and we have another key that I just cannot for the life of me remember. Yeah, I'm sure it'll come up again, but yeah. On it, someone had engraved a symbol very similar to a 4, but we know in fact that is actually a Jupiter symbol. He looked over at June, who nodded back. It had to be the Jupiter symbol. I'm gonna let you hold on to that, alright? Yeah, I got it. I don't know if we should let our character hold the key, but then again, I guess he's the only character I can trust here. Well, I've got something for you too then. And wait, wasn't that keycard located in the shower? Unless there's a second keycard or someone's not telling us the full story. It's the Saturn keycard. We found it in the kitchen. Oh no, you find that in the kitchen. I remember that now. I might lose it. It's probably better if you hold on to it. That way, it won't be my fault if it gets lost. And with that, she pressed it into Junpei's hand. He felt slightly less than honored. As a group, they now had 3 keys that had not been used. Ah, the Earth key, that's what we had gotten, which we found in the laboratory. There was a Jupiter key, which 7 had just handed to Junpei. The Saturn keycard, which Lotus had just handed to Junpei. Junpei tucked the new keys into his pocket. June spoke up. The Jupiter key is supposed to be for the door at the end of that long, straight hallway, right? Yeah. If the map's right, then it connects to the central staircase. Okay. Then, next to the stairs... Wait. They were the first words anyone had heard out of Clover in quite some time. Her face suggested that they weren't going to be very happy words. What about door 3? Look. You saw the map, right? It's the same as 7 and 8. It just leads us back to the big hospital room. There's no point to seeing what's on the other side of that door. There is a point. At least, there is for me. There were tears in her eyes, but she glared at 7 as hard as she could, just the same. She looked very much like a frightened puppy. There wasn't a man alive who could have resisted those eyes. 7 looked everywhere in the room except at Clover, and muttered and coughed apologies under his breath. Yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. The snake might be on the other side of the door, 3. I don't know if we want her to see that. Clover nodded once. The next person to speak was Ace. Very well. I'll be coming with you then. I've had a nice long rest. I think it's time I was up and about again. So, 7, you'll help me, won't you? Huh? Me? Junpei did the calculations quickly in his head. 4 plus 1 plus 7 is 12. That equals 3, so I guess that could work. It looked like 7 was doing them too. At last, he gave up. Dang. Well, I guess that's how it's gotta be. So, I'm going with you, huh? Yes, you are. Alright, let's get moving. And so it was decided that Clover, Ace, and 7 would discover what laid beyond door 3. Oh, and I can't wait to hear. We're just gonna be like halfway through some other place, and all of a sudden we're gonna hear ah like that, and then, you know, something bad's going to happen, I'm sure. Just waiting to hear the scream. Okay, we're heading out. Be careful. Whoa, didn't think I'd be hearing that from you, Lotus. Don't let it go to your head. I'd be in trouble if the 3 of you bought it. Bought it? Oh, the rest of us can't open the 9 door. Ah, the truth comes out. 7 nodded, as if this answer made much more sense, and pulled the lever on the red. Okay. Just curious what them going through the door 3 would do. Because last time, we never went through the 7 or the 8 door, actually. So I'm curious if anything interesting would happen if all 3 doors had been gone through. Okay, let's go! The door opened, and Ace, Clover, and 7 jumped through it. Six, 7, 8. After exactly 9 seconds, the door closed noisily. Alright, we should get moving too. Huh? Get moving? Where are we going? Everyone except Lotus seem rather confused. Well, we do have all the keys, which I think it wouldn't be the best idea, personally, for just as the group as a whole, to give one person all the keys. Because you remember what happened to the 9th man, right? He went and just, like, went crazy and blew up and stuff. So I think it'd be better to give one person one key and so on and so forth. Well, it would be a waste of time just to sit around, wouldn't it? Let me explain. I get it. We're gonna see if we can get anywhere interesting with the Jupiter key. Yes. If we're lucky, we might find Snake. Unless he's been moved, I don't think so. They were at the end of the hallway lined by individual hospital rooms. The Jupiter symbol is engraved on the keyhole. Alright, Junpei, open it, if you please. Yeah, on it. Junpei pulled the Jupiter key out of his pocket and slid it into the keyhole. He twisted. With a nice sharp click, he felt the door unlock. Alright, ready guys? Junpei's companions nodded. He nodded back, and then slowly and quietly opened the door. And there's a staircase that doesn't have stabbed people on it this time. Uh-oh, I'm hoping we don't get stabbed in their place. Inside was exactly what he expected to see from the map of the ship's interior. They were in a tremendous hall, almost like a ballroom, with a massive central staircase. Great. Back to the beginning. You sure this is a good idea? What do you mean? Well, we already searched every inch of this room, didn't we? I'm asking you if there's any reason we came back here. I suppose there would be a reason, considering that we haven't been here in a while. We don't know if things change over time when we're not there, which could be a thing. And also, I'd like to investigate the doors that we need to put the keys in, so of course there's a reason. Man, sometimes I can't tell if you're smart or just lucky. Huh? This. Junpei pulled two things out of his pockets. The Saturn keycard. And the Earth key. Santa cocked his head to one side, like an inquisitive bird, and looked at them. After several long moments, during which it became apparent that Santa had no idea what the cards meant, June took pity on him. Don't you remember, Santa? On C deck, where we are now, there's a big elevator behind the stairs, remember? Oh yeah, there was. And next to the elevator, there was a card reader with the Saturn symbol on it. And on A deck, on the door to the left, there was a keyhole with the Earth symbol on it, I think. So, the two keys that Jumpy has should let us use the elevator and the door on A deck, huh? Yes, that's right. June smiled, pleased with herself. So did Santa. Alright, I got it. Let's get started then. What do you say we split into two teams? Lotus and I will search the Earth one, so you two can search Saturn, alright? Sounds good. Junpei handed the Earth key to Santa. They decided that their initial search should be brief, only 10 minutes. They'd meet back near the staircase once they were done. Junpei and June headed for the elevators. Sure enough, there was a card reader bolted to the wall next to the left elevator. He lined up the Saturn keycard and swiped it through the reader. Sure, nothing bad could happen from this. A light on the upper left corner blinked to life. Great. Looks like it's working now. Alright, how do I call the elevator? There was a single button to the right of the elevator door. Likely pushing that button? On the button was the upside-down triangle, the universal symbol for down. There didn't appear to be an up button. Junpei pushed it. He didn't have much of a choice. Seems a little sinister still, I would have to say. It opened. Look, Jumpy. June's voice was excited, but Junpei could hear a tinge of anxiety. Sweet, it opened. Let's get going. He grinned at June and stepped towards the open door. As he was about to set foot in it, he felt a hand on his arm. Oh, wait. What? I'm not really, oh gosh. Junpei was at something of a loss. What could she possibly be so frightened of? Maybe the crazy murderer June was probably afraid of? Well, that's certainly something that could be worrisome, couldn't it? But based on her past experiences that we had, I would say being locked up alone with a boy would be kind of a worry to her. Nope, nope, go away. Oh, nope, not that. I really don't know. I really don't know. I'll just say she would probably be worried that they could only go down. I mean, I know her past experiences have seemed like she's a little weird with boys, but that would be a worry to me as well, that you could only go down in this. So, they could only go down. She was afraid because the only elevator button pointed down. That meant, of course, that the elevator couldn't go any higher than the floor they were on. As he thought about it, Junpei realized he hadn't seen elevators on A or B deck near the central staircase. All of which meant that the elevator could only convey them to the lower decks. And the floor below the one they were on, D deck, should be completely submerged, which that was I was thinking when we went on the elevator last time. I was thinking, wait, shouldn't this deck be underwater? But maybe it's sealed off differently, I don't know. That would be a worry I would have to think about, that you open the elevator door and you just get flooded with water and you die. That meant... Hey, wait a minute. This elevator came up from somewhere under us, right? Not necessarily. It could have just been hovering on, like, an in-between somewhere. Well, yes, I guess it did. It didn't open right away after you pressed the button. There was a motor noise, like it was moving, and then it opened. Yeah, exactly. Yes. So, take a look inside. Junpei jerked his head towards the interior of the elevator. It's not wet at all, is it? The walls and even the floor are totally dry. Oh, you're right, they are. She looked around the elevator, slightly embarrassed. Well, let's test it. Test it? Yeah, watch this. Junpei put one foot in the elevator and bent around the corner of the room until he could see the floor buttons. There were only two, E and C. He pushed the E button and jumped out of the elevator. What is E? The door slid shut, and they heard the grinding of the motor as the elevator car moved down. Where's E, I wonder? A few moments later, they heard the sound of the elevator door grinding open several floors below. Junpei nodded to June and pressed the elevator button again. That's actually a good test. I could see that being a good test if you really needed to go in this elevator. A few moments later, the elevator returned. Opens up, there's a guy with a knife. Ah! The door slid open, and just as Junpei had expected, there was no water to be found. See? Junpei couldn't resist puffing out his chest, just a little bit. June, however, still looked confused. Oh, what does that mean? How can the E deck be safe if the D deck is full of water? Well, here's what I think. The elevator shaft and the E deck must be watertight, separated from wherever the ship's been punctured. Here, let me show you. He pulled out his notebook and pen and sketched a rough illustration. Yeah, I would say that's likely what it is, because I was thinking about the same thing, actually. I was like, you know, this doesn't make any sense, but after a while I'm like, well, it could be sealed off. I see. So, is that why the ship hasn't sunk? The shape of the inside keeps it from all filling with water? Yeah, I think that's what's going on. Junpei continued talking as he closed the notebook and slipped it back into his pocket. So, I'm gonna go down and check it out. You stay here, alright? But... Come on, just do it, alright? We're gonna come back up, she's gonna be like gutted, like a deer or something. He gave June's shoulder a reassuring squeeze, then hopped into the elevator. Gonna stab her with a knife, that's what happened last time, right? He pushed the E button, and the door began to close. June looked worried, her eyes darting back and forth, as if she was trying to make a decision, when suddenly... I'm coming with you! Huh? At the last possible moment, June dashed forward, turning sideways just in time to slip through the gap between the closing doors. Junpei jammed his finger against the open button. But it was too late. The door had shut, and he and June were in the elevator, and it was headed down to E deck. Probably the best decision to keep June alive, unless the murderer's down here. Then, we're kind of screwed anyway. He was so surprised by June that he didn't even have time to think about what awaited him on the E deck. The elevator stopped, and the door slid open. Oh, this looks new. They stepped off, onto the floor outside the elevator. Nothing seemed especially unusual. No fish going about their fishy business, or jellyfish floating lazily through the water. There was, however, a blowfish. Or at least something that looked very much like one. June's cheeks were puffed out, in her mouth a tiny, intense frown. Oh, knock it off. It's just like I thought. This part isn't flooded. And come on, just look around. There's no water here. June looked around nervously, then... exhaled. You're right. It's not flooded at all. See? But there's a whole lot of water. Yeah, right on top of us. What's going to happen if the ceiling breaks? Well, we're going to die. Junpei thought about that for a moment. We'd probably die. Oh no, don't be so casual about something like that. At any rate, we should probably go back as soon as we can, once we're done looking around down here. I do find it interesting that not only is there electricity on this boat, but it appears to be working down here, so this stuff must be well shielded. Lotus and Santa might already be back. Okay, good idea. Junpei glanced around the room they found themselves in. The first thing he noticed was a set of thick iron bars. They ran the length of the room, separating the left elevator from the right one. Well, we can't go over there. Right. Then perhaps... In the corner of the room that housed the elevators, Junpei found an opening. He walked up to it and stuck his head around the corner. 6. That's different. A long, straight hallway stretched out in front of him. That door at the end of the hallway, there's something written on it. Yeah, let's go have a look. Junpei and June set off down the hallway at a brisk clip, somewhere between a run and a jog. Before long, they found themselves in front of the door. On it was a number written in bright red paint. 6. I knew it. This is a numbered door. And indeed, there was a red bolted to the wall right next to the door. Of course, with only 2 people, there wasn't much they could do with it. Alright, let's head back. Yes. Junpei and June turned and headed back to C deck. On their way back, Junpei noticed a map on the wall. Another map, interesting. As it turned out, it was a burnt map of the ship's interior for E deck. Can I see it? Okay, apparently not. Huh. So, you guys found a door 1. They met back up with Santa and Lotus, who had explained what they found, and had also not been gutted like a fish. Apparently there was another numbered door on A deck, just like the one on E deck, beyond the door that the Earth Key opened. According to Santa and Lotus, there was a 1 on the door. All told, they discovered 2 new doors, the 6 door and the 1 door. It is interesting that E deck wasn't flooded. Lotus was quiet for a moment, lost in thought. Well, we don't really know if all of E deck is safe. We only checked the area around the elevator. Even so, it's still very interesting. You said the 6th door was there, right? Yes. Then, that means Zero planned all this out, even the sinking. That would have meant some pretty serious remodeling of the ship's interior. It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. Yeah. I wonder how long it took. I can't even imagine how much it must have cost. It would have been a ton, that's for sure. Well, that does go along with what Ace was saying. The most reasonable explanation would be that this was done by some organization with access to a whole lot of cash. And according to what I currently know, that doesn't sound far from the truth. You know, that's what I would guess as well. Yes, it does make sense. That thought made them all go quiet for a moment. June bit her lip while Lotus sighed softly to herself, and Santa cracked a stiff neck and stared off into the distance at nothing. I don't think it's a very good idea to stay here. June looked up at Junpei with large, pleading eyes. Yeah, you're right. Ace and his team might be back already. Well, Junpei, and I should be able to open door 1. Huh? You guys leaving me behind? 8 plus 6 plus 5 equals 19, which equals 10, which equals 1. Just kidding. Alright, let's go. Lotus's words were all the impetus they needed. It's also a word I'm not terribly familiar with. Let me go look it up really quick. I like knowing new words and knowing what I'm talking about rather than just saying what I think it sounds like. So be right back.